This is from Adi Lila, Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila, volume 4. Chapter 4, verse 30 in the purport. Because we have to ask the question, why does Krishna come and show these confidential, intimate pastimes to the gopis? Prabhupada explains, Krishna himself appears before the materialistic people on this earth planet to bestow upon them the highest form of spiritual realization and also personally relish its essence. Krishna is so merciful that he himself descends to this material world to take the fallen souls back home, back to Godhead, where the erotic principles of Godhead are eternally relished in their real form. Erotic means sex, man, woman, erotic. Krishna's come here to bring all the conditioned souls back to the world of erotica. The world of erotica means the world of conjugal pastime, love between Krishna and the gopis. It's relished in their real form, distinct or different from the perverted sexual love so much adored and indulged in by the fallen souls in their diseased condition. The reason Krishna displays the Rasa Lila, why does Krishna display the Rasa Lila? Kissing the gopis, touching their breasts, touching their private parts, dancing, everything going on. Everything. And the moralists and mundaners, they criticize and find fault and don't even accept that Krishna has such pastimes. All the Gujaratis, it's only there's Balakrishna. Or if they worship Granam Krishna, it's only Rukmini Dwarkadish. All over South India, only temples Rukmini Dwarkadish, Dwarka Lila. This Mathura Lila is some imagination. Vrindavan Lila. They don't. You go all over India, everywhere in South India, ancient deities, Rukmini Dwarkadish, Rukmini Dwarkadish. You go to Mathura, Dwarkadish. There's no Radha and Krishna temples anywhere, only new in the last few hundred years. This is a Gaudiya contribution. The reason the Lord displays the Rasa Lila is essentially to induce or to encourage all fallen souls to give up their diseased morality and religiosity and to attract them to the kingdom of God to enjoy the reality. A person who actually understands what the Rasa Lila is will certainly hate to indulge in mundane sex life. For the realized soul, hearing Rasa Lila through the proper channel will result in complete abstinence from material sexual pleasure. There's another quote here I have also. This is Madhya Lila chapter 8, verse 204 and 205. This is Ramananda Samvad, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu discussing with Rai Ramananda. Rai Ramananda is Vishaka Sakhi, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in Radha Bhav, in the mood of Krishna, trying to understand Radharani's Bhav and mellow. So Vishaka or Rai Ramananda is explaining about the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. Sakhi vina, what does he say? Sakhi vina e lilaya anyera nahigati Sakhi bhave ye tanre kari anugati Radha Krishna kunja seva sadya se pai se sadya pai ta'ar nahika upai. Bina Sakhi lila anyera nahigati. Without the help of the gopis, one cannot enter into Radha and Krishna's confidential pastimes. Radha Krishna lila gudatar. Gudatar means like gufa, confidential. Gudatar. Without the help, only one who worships Krishna in the ecstasy of the gopis, following in their footsteps, can engage in the service of Radha and Krishna in the bushes of Vrindavan. As Prabhupada says, when he says this in English, he says bushes, bushes, B-O-O-O-O-O-S-H-E-S, bushes. Kunja, because that's his translation of Kunja Seva. Radha Krishna Kunja Seva, Sadhya ne Sepai. Pai means to attain this Sadhya. Sadhya means goal, destination, culmination, perfection. Gati. Radha Krishna Kunja Seva. What is the goal? What are you doing? What is all this sadhana? Why are you chanting, reading? What are you doing? I simply am trying to attain the service of Radha and Krishna in the bushes of Vrindavan. Kunja Seva. Radha Krishna Kunja Seva. Only then can one understand the conjugal love between Radha and Krishna. There is no other procedure for understanding. Srila Prabhupada's purport. The means. You know what means? It means means the way, the path. the way or the means for returning home, going back to Godhead, is devotional service. But everyone has a different taste in the Lord's service. One may be inclined to serve the Lord in Dasiras, Sakiras, or Vatsaliras. But none of these can enable one to enter into the service of the Lord in conjugal love. To attain that service in Madhurya Ras, one has to follow in the footsteps of the gopis, in the ecstasy of Sakhi Bhav, Gopi Bhav. Then only one can understand the transcendental mellow of Madhurya Ras, conjugal love. Now he talks about living in Vrindavan. One has to practice living in Vrindavan by hearing about the talks of the gopis with Krishna. However, one should never consider himself a gopi, for this is offensive. Never consider oneself Lalita Sakhi or Radharani or something. You're reading about Lalita's pastimes and Radha and Krishna's pastimes, but never, it's called Ahanga Upasana. Never consider yourself to be that gopi with Krishna. But we're all in a mood of seva. Our mood is seva. We're to serve these pastimes, and we're to attain a suitable seva deha, a body of service, depending on our bhavas. We cultivate the bhavas. Gopi Bhav. So Prabhupada's telling, so what does it mean practice living in Vrindavan? You say, I don't live in Vrindavan. I live in Gurgaon or Delhi or Green Park. No, because Jiva Goswami is saying if you can't physically live in Vrindavan and meditate like this and follow the gopis, then mentally you should live in Vrindavan. And someone says, where do you live? He says, I live in Vrindavan. No, I thought you live in Prit Bihar. No, that's what you think, but I live in Vrindavan. You think I live in Gurgaon. I live in, where do you live? I live in Vrindavan. I always see you in Delhi. You live in Delhi. No. You see me, but I'm not there. You see my body's there, but I'm not there. So this is what we should all practice living in Vrindavan. If we're living in Delhi, we should also practice living in Vrindavan. If we may have parking our bodies here. We may be passing stool in Vrindavan and sleeping and eating in Vrindavan, but we're also not living in Vrindavan. Because this is what does it mean to live in Vrindavan? Your body can be anywhere, but one has to practice living in Vrindavan by hearing about the talks of the gopis with Krishna. Prabhupada doesn't say anything after you attain prema. He says just anyone, one. He says one. He doesn't say a pure one, a premi bhakti. He says one. One means one, two, anyone. Someone, anyone. One has to practice living in Vrindavan by hearing about the talks of the gopis with Krishna. So now in the Krishna book, there's so many quotations, but I'll finish with these quotes. Srila Prabhupada. The last one, I'll finish with a really good one at the end. Say the best for last. I have a few quotations from Srila Prabhupada before we get to this Krishna book. These are assorted lectures. This is a room conversation. Where? Where is this conversation? Prabhupada and his disciples? In Vrindavan. Have you heard about it, Vrindavan? September 11th, 1974. Actually, Shastra says, which Prabhupada means the Bhagavatam, 33-39, if one hears Rasa Lila, then lusty desires will be finished. Vikriditamidam chavishno brajabadubir ridrogam ashvapi noti achirini dira. That is the result. If one actually hears from the right source, then this lusty desire of sex life will be finished. No more. Khatam ho gaya.